Welcome to Physics Redefined at the GP Effect Academy. So we have this question. A block is acted upon by two horizontal forces as illustrated above. So you can see the block and you can see the two forces acting upon this block. The block accelerates at 1.5 meters per second square. Calculate the mass of the block. Now, once you see two objects or two bodies in contact, then you know that what? Friction must occur. What is friction? We can say that friction is the force which acts at the surface of separation between two bodies in contact. It acts at the surface of separation between the two bodies in contact. And it also tends to oppose motion of one body over the other. Like rubbing your hands together, you can see, by the time you rub it together, in a few seconds or minutes, you will feel some heat. But by the time I add lubricant, what happens? You just see it slipping over the other easily. Now, there is a frictional force that is holding this block to the rough surface. This is a rough surface. Rough surface. Now, you know that since it is on a rough surface, it might be difficult for the block to move. Now, but there is another force here, a greater force. That greater force is what we call the applied force. If you look at the arrow of this one, you can see that it is pulling it towards itself. So as it is pulling it towards itself, there is a frictional force that is also saying no, that is holding it back to the rough surface. So our frictional force here is frictional force is equals to 4 Newton. F is equals to 4 Newton. Now the other force, that's the applied force. Applied force. P is equals to 10 Newton. All right. We also have our acceleration A to be what? 1.5 meter per second square. Now, because the applied force is greater than the frictional force, the block is going to move. So what if the applied force, I have this block here, and there's a frictional force of 4 Newton holding it back, and I'm just applying a force of 1 Newton. What is going to happen? The block is not going to move because the frictional force is greater than the force that I'm applying to it. All right, so since this is greater, I have my resultant force to be equals to my applied force minus the frictional force. So my resultant force is 10 minus 4, which will give us 6 Newton. Now recall that F is equals to MA. So that means my resultant force is equals to MA. My resultant force here is 6. That is 6 is equals to M, that's unknown, times A. My A is what? 1.5. So I have 6 is equals to 1.5 meters. So the next thing is to what? Our M will give us 6 over 1.5, which will give us 3 kilograms. That means the mass of this block here is 3 kilograms. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and ring the bell. I'm Ganiat of the GP Effect Academy, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.